Alright, so the Realme 9 SE or the Speed Edition is finally in the house, and the fact that it offers Snapdragon 778 under Rs 20,000 is pretty compelling. However, we do know how costly these chipsets are, so if Realme is trying to bring this phone at this price point, of course there had to be some compromises. For starters, this one does not come with an AMOLED panel, and there's no ultra wide sensor here as well. So I decided to compare it with one of its closest competitors that offers similar or in some ways even better specs for about the same price, which is the iQoo Z5. And well, that's what this video is all about. In today's video, we'll be comparing the iQoo Z5 versus the Realme 9 Speed Edition to see which budget Snapdragon 778 phone makes more sense for you. This is Varun from GTR, and let's jump right into it. Alright, so first things first, let's start by talking about the design here. Now, they're both very minimal and subtly premium looking devices, and it's really hard to choose one between these two. They both have this rainbow gradient finish. I don't know if you can see it right now on the screen. Obviously, my editor will put a proper B-roll over there. But yeah, they both look very, very premium. Now, I will say that the in-hand feel of the Z5 is slightly better than the 9 SE, and also on paper, while there's just a difference of 5 grams, the Z5 feels kind of lighter to hold and use. Now, of course, I'm saying this because I have both the devices right in front of me. I mean, as a consumer, if you had to just pick one, you can basically pick either of the devices. You won't really notice a lot of differences here. Now, apart from that premium looking gradient finish on the back, there's nothing super premium about either of the devices. They both have a plastic frame. They both offer no sort of protection here. I mean, Realme says that it has Panda glass, or maybe that's what Z5 claims. Regardless, there's no Corning Gorilla Glass here, so it's better to just use a case with both of the devices. Now, in terms of connectivity, you get a 3.5 headphone jack on both. The iQoo Z5 has a dual SIM card slot, while Realme takes things up a notch by offering a 2+1 slot. So you can also add on a micro SD card if you want. Also, speaking of taking things up a notch, while the iQoo Z5 comes with support for just 2 5G bands, Realme has support for 5 5G bands. Okay, so next up, let's talk about the displays here. Now, they're both 6.6-inch IPS LCD panels here, and both support high refresh rates. Now, the iQoo Z5 has a high refresh rate of 120Hz, while Realme, like I said, once again takes things up a notch by offering 144Hz. The Z5 works in 3 variable modes. It's either 60, 90 or 120Hz, while Realme has either forced refresh rates of either 60 or 144Hz, or you can also choose the 6-level adaptive refresh rate that varies from 30 to 144Hz for better battery backup if needed. Apart from that, you get 240Hz touch sampling rate on both, which works very snappily on both the devices. You get wideband L1 support as well, and no support for HDR content on Netflix. Now, while they both claim to offer about 600 nits of brightness in the high brightness mode, basically using them outdoors, in my testing, I found the Z5 to be a tad bit brighter. Once again, it's not by a massive margin, so I mean, make of that what you will. Of course, the display segment is aided by the audio department, and you get stereo speakers on both the devices, and they both are quite loud. So once again, no separating the devices here. So moving along, let's talk about the cameras. Now, on paper, the iQoo Z5 has a 64MP primary sensor with an 8MP ultra-wide sensor and a 2MP macro sensor. On the other hand, the Realme 9 Speed Edition has a 48MP primary sensor and 2 useless sensors. The fact that it does not come with an ultra-wide sensor is genuinely disappointing. Up front, they both have the 16MP shooters, and that's about it. I mean, the fact that Realme is still compromising on the ultra-wide sensor here is genuinely very disappointing. But it seems to be like a trend now. There have been multiple devices that Realme has launched without an ultra-wide sensor, and this just seems to fall in line with all of them. Anyway, let's talk about the actual camera results. Now, in daylight shots, they're both good. Realme tends to saturate colors a tad bit, while iQoo is more on the neutral side. Now, while Z5 technically has a bigger sensor, there isn't much difference in terms of details. In fact, some shots are better detailed on the Realme 9 SE. The Realme 9 SE does have some issues that we also noticed on the Realme 9 Pro Plus, where it has problems handling exposure settings. Of course, this is something that can easily be fixed with a software update though. Now, moving on to low light shots, the Z5 captures more light and has better shots. In fact, even in the night mode on, the Z5 has better illumination overall. However, I will say that Realme does have better details in low light, especially with the night mode turned on, so it's not like Realme is super far behind. For selfies, well, I would say that it's more of a contrastive finish. Z5 offers neutral tones with a slightly boosted contrast, while the Realme offers a bit more warmer shots And of course, that kind of takes a toll on the skin tones as well. So I'll let you guys decide which shot you prefer more. Of course, speaking of letting you guys decide, we also always have a direct download link to all of the camera samples that we've taken from both the phones. So you can download them, analyze the shots for yourself, and of course, the comment section is down there for you guys to leave your feedback as well. Moving along, for Rio videos, well, take a look. Alright, so we're recording 1080p 60 fps footage from the Realme 9 SE, which is on my left side, and the iQoo Z5, which is on my right side. Now both the phones have the ultra steady mode turned on, and already you can see that the Z5 does a lot more cropping in as compared to the normal sensor. Like, yeah, this is a better explanation of the same, I guess. But yeah, I thought that it might be switching to the ultra wide sensor, but no, it's basically just using a stronger version of EIS that basically crops in the frame more. Now in terms of stability, I would say that yes, the Z5 definitely looks to be a bit more stabler, but then the cost at which it's coming, I mean, just look at the details here in terms of the leaves and everything, and you can pretty much understand what I'm trying to say. I mean, it's not just the cropped frame, but the fact that it's also losing out on a lot of details makes me feel like that, well, I would personally prefer Realme's footage over here. Alright, so we're recording 1080p 30 fps footage from both the Realme 9 SE, which is on my left side, and the iQoo Z5, which is on my right side. And they both have the ultra stable or the steady stabilization mode turned on. So as you can see already, the Z5 is cropping a lot more to stabilize the footage. Also, as you saw previously, the HDR performance on both the devices is not really amazing or anything, but at least right now in this frame, it's a lot better on Realme. The iQoo Z5's performance could have been a bit better. Also, even my face is being overblown a bit. I think it's making me look like a vampire from Twilight, which I'm not. But anyway, other than that, I think they're both pretty good. No complaints whatsoever. Also, apart from that, both the phones support 4K 30 FPS footage if you want, but offer zero stability on either of them. Alright, so moving along, let's talk about the performance of both the devices. Now, on paper, you get the Snapdragon 778 on both the devices, so that's good. But the Z5 has some more advantages up its sleeve. You get UFS 3.1 storage in comparison to UFS 2.2, and you also get enhanced LPDDR5 RAM in comparison to LPDDR4X on the Realme 9 SE. Now, in terms of performance, Geekbench scores are pretty much the same on both the devices. In fact, Realme is slightly higher. However, for everything else, Z5 is just better. Gaming works fine on both, but then again, Z5 is relatively cooler. Also, the 4D vibration motor on the iQoo Z5 makes the overall experience so much better. Now, of course, in day-to-day usage, both the devices are really good and you won't find anything to complain about. Now, I will say that in my personal usage, I did find Realme to be a bit more smoother. Now, I'm not saying it's because of the 144Hz refresh rate, because technically 120, 144 does not make a massive difference. The difference was there in terms of the software department, because as good as Funtouch OS is, I personally do like Realme UI a bit more. However, there is still a big but there. You see, the iQoo Z5 has already received an update for Funtouch OS 12, which is based on Android 12. While on the other hand, Realme has launched the 9 SE with Realme UI 2.0 based on Android 11. Now, the brand has stated that the Realme UI 3.0 update based on Android 12 will be coming soon, but it's really a shame. I mean, the Realme 9 Pro Plus was praised by everyone out there for the fact that it was launching with Android 12. I mean, the fact that it was praised in itself is bad because it's kind of a normal expectation to have the latest operating system if you're launching a phone at this point, but nonetheless, at least the 9 Pro Plus came with that. With the 9 SE, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, yes, Realme UI in itself is pretty smooth, and for the most part, I would still like Realme UI over Funtouch OS. Not to say that Funtouch OS is bad, but yes, personally, I do like Realme UI here. But come on, you can and you should have rolled this phone out with Realme UI 3.0, which was based on, which is supposed to be based on Android 12. Now moving along, we have the battery life, and they both come with a 5000 mAh battery. Now Realme has a 30 watt charger, while iQoo Z5 has the slight edge here with a 44 watt fast charging. Now of course, this means that in terms of battery backup, they both last about the same time, while the Z5 does charge a bit faster. So in the battery segment, the Z5 is the clear winner. Which brings us to the pricing. Now, at the time of recording this video, we do not know what will be the price of the Realme 9 Speed Edition. However, the brand has confirmed to me that this will be launching under Rs 20,000. Now, of course, I will be leaving the actual prices down there in the description box for you to check out. But from what I can estimate, I think this will be priced around 18 to 19,000. I mean, there is no way that Realme is going below 18,000 with a phone that comes with Snapdragon 778. So yeah, even at that price point, it's a tough recommendation over the iQoo Z5. Now, just to be clear, the iQoo Z5 retails for about 24,000, but then you can also get 2,000 off on Amazon vouchers. And if there's a sale going on, the iQoo Z5 has gone for as low as 20,000. So yeah, I mean, if there is a sale going on, the iQoo Z5 is easily the better pick over the 9 SE. However, we all know that sales come and go, and of course, if there's an urgency and you do need a phone under rupees 20,000, the Realme 9 SE is still a very good phone. And that's basically the point here. You see, the Realme 9 SE in itself is a very good phone. I do miss the ultra-wide sensor here, and there are some issues in terms of HDR with the camera, but that can easily be fixed with a software update. And apart from that, it's a fantastic device as long as the iQoo Z5 is not available at a discounted rate. Of course, I'm not denying the fact that even at its 24,000 price tag, the iQoo Z5 is better than the Realme 9 SE. So basically what I'm saying that if there's not a sale going on and you're looking for a phone under rupees 20,000, pick this. If there is a sale going on, pick this. And well, that was it. As always, if you found this video helpful, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Vam from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.